So if at any time, Sandy, this feels like a 7 or an 8 to you, just stop me. It's not a treatment that's more pain, more gain. We actually have a chance of harming you at this point. So, okay. So 1, 2, pulse. Okay. 1, 2. We're overlapping here by about just where your bar mark ends. And 1, 2. Okay. We're always making sure we have a fully flat surface. And 1, 2. Still about a 5 all over. That one was okay.
It was a little hot.
Felt it a bit more.
And I know there's a lot of...
So on areas where she has more pigment, she's gonna feel this more naturally because the laser is pulling more melanin out of the skin. 1, 2, pulse. It's okay. 1, 2. So that's one pass over the cheek. Now we're gonna put it on standby. And I'm gonna switch it over to HR just so it doesn't get too cold on us. And now I'm gonna have a better look at the skin and the reaction and the clinical endpoints that I'm looking for. So what we want to see again is for the pigment to go slightly darker. We want her to have a little bit of erythema and edema, which is the slight redness and swelling, which is a normal reaction. She's got a good amount of pinkness, which is good. And then we're seeing this has definitely gone darker. The darker the pigment, the lighter the skin, the better the clinical endpoint we're going to see. And these are starting to go darker in here, but these didn't quite pick up as much as I would like them to. So I'm probably gonna go back and do just a couple pulses over those. And then moving into her cheek area, she does have a much thinner skin in here. So we're gonna be more cautious on this area, and we're probably gonna be treating some broken capillaries there as well. And then she's got another little couple pigmented spots there that probably you were feeling when we went over. So I'm going to do a couple more just in here so we can get a bit more clinical endpoint there. So switch it back to SR. If you forget to do that and you keep talking throughout and working and talking with your client, this will get very cold on you. And 1, 2. One, 2. That was okay, Sonia? So I'm just cooling this a little bit more for her because she was a bit sensitive here. And 1, 2, pulse. See? She's sensitive there, so we're cooling it a bit more. If we didn't cool it at all, probably you would feel that area at quite a high number, right? Okay, so that's pretty much one pass, and then we did a second pass just over the areas that didn't pick up for us. I may do more at the end, but again, the pigment will continue to come out for up to 8 hours after, I guess, post-treatment. So I just think she's got a good amount of clinical endpoints here. She's got a good amount of redness. She's got some slight swelling. We've seen some darkening on the areas. So as I do the rest of the face, I'm gonna let this sit because I wanna ensure that I'm not going too aggressive on her. But it's looking good. I mean, these are definitely going darker now up in here as well, which is great. So we'll move on to the forehead for her. Now your forehead is a thinner area of skin, it's bonier. So the forehead generally picks up a little bit stronger than the rest of the face. So if I did 2 full passes over Sandy here, I would only do probably 1 on her forehead. Again, debating on the clinical endpoints that we're seeing. So you'll notice as well that I'm reusing some of the gel from her cheek, which you can do as long as it has not gone cloudy. So if it's still a clear gel, then we're still okay to be using it. We do use a lot of ultrasound gel during intense pulse light treatments. It is a safety barrier, even though we have our coolant system built in. Just going to leave a 4x4 beside me here because I'm going to end up masking with this. So again, because I'm moving to the forehead, I'm going to go down from 31 joules to 30 joules, so just by 1 joule. And Sandy, again, let me know if this gets too high, okay?
Okay.
So 1 to... on a scale from 1 to 10, that felt about the same?
Yeah.
So you may think as you're watching this, well, it's slightly lifted on the end, but it's not. I've actually put enough gel that it's filling the area, so we have no gaps. 1, 2. And again, because we have this cooling system built in, oh, she's got a nice bit of pigment there for us. So notice how I'm being extra careful. I'm not touching the hair on the brow or the hairline. So again, as I was saying, because we have such a strong cooling system built in here, it's important to be very accurate on the forehead, but to move fairly quickly because it can feel cold. 1, 2, pause. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Felt that one a bit more?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look here. So this is great. Like she's got some pigment up here that you can see is getting a slight red border on it. I don't know if it's easy to see that in the film, but I can see it coming up, which is a great sign for me. Nice. So that was really good for your forehead. That felt okay?
Yep.
Okay. So she's got some scattered pigment in here. This definitely is sun damage, whether it's old or new. I'm not 100% sure, but I know we can get it out. So 1, 2, pulse. So again, the lighter pigment is going to be harder to pull, which is what may need a couple passes. This is looking good to me. Okay, I'll do one more here. 1, 2. Sorry. Okay, and 1, 2. Pulse. So right there, because there's some pigment I want to get here, but I want to target it more and it's a little bit harder for me to get a flat surface, I'm going to mask the end of it by touching the light with my tongue depressor, and that's going to create a flat surface for me. Okay, we're looking good. So again, clinical endpoints we're looking for is we want to see some of that pigmentation go darker, which it in fact did. There is some before and after pictures I'll be sending with this video as well. So you can drastically see a bigger difference. But if we don't see any redness at all, no darkening happening at all, it wasn't strong enough. So right here, you can see that is cloudy fluid. So I'm getting some cloud up in there, which means it's not going to be a clear spectrum for the laser to pass through. So I'm going to discard of that and use some new gel. So let your client know, Sandy, this is going to feel a little cold again. Now this is a skin that's a sensitive skin at the same time, so we're not going to go too aggressive. I would say for her it's probably better to do a series of 3 treatments and build up from there. A good thing to add into this, if you do have access to microdermabrasion, is to maybe in 3 weeks do a light micro to just basically help slough off what's already come to the surface. But it is important to not pick these little coffee grinds off until they're ready. Otherwise, you can have the chance of some hyper or hypopigment. So again, I'm moving back down to the cheek, so I'm bumping her up by a jewel again. So she's back to 31. And, oh, you okay? Yeah. 1, 2. Now I work in a pattern across the face. You can notice it's, you know, again about that, there's not a full overlap. The only overlap I'm doing is of the actual bar here, just to make sure that I'm getting the full area. 1, 2. This side might be, let me know if this side's a little more sensitive than the other, okay? 1, 2. Again, you might feel this one a little bit more. It's just a sensitive area. 1, 2, pause. It's okay. 1, 2. So this treatment does not include the neck. If you wanted to add the neck on, it's a great benefit, but the full price is usually just for face. Okay, and she's got here, right up in here, and sorry this will be bright. 1, 2, you okay?
It's just the light.
Yeah, it's very bright around the eyes, even though the eyes are blacked out. This is an intense pulse light that has a very broad spectrum light that goes through, so you will see that even through any blackout glasses. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little more up by your eye here. Okay. Again, she's got that good amount of erythema. She doesn't really have as much edema as she had on the other side, which is just some slight swelling. But again, that may be coming out for us. We definitely are getting some darkening of the pigment up in here, moving down. I'd like to see a little more darkening again on this sort of area in here, which I probably didn't favor, which I can see that visually. So I will go over those spots just to pick some pigment up in those. And now if we go back to the forehead, we can see all of this darkening starting to happen up in here. So this is great. This is going to continue to darken for about the next 8 hours there. And she should have a very sufficient treatment for her first treatment. When she comes back for the second treatment, we'll be able to ask what the efficiency was of this first treatment, which should be quite good. And I would say after 3 treatments, you'll probably be pretty happy, Sandy. From there on, she may need a few more, she may not. It's just based all on the clinical endpoints. Each person is different. I would say for everybody, at least 3 is usually needed. Unless it's a singular spot, then it's only 1 to 3. So. You could say 1 treatment, but nobody's really 100% satisfied with just 1, right? Especially when we have quite a bit of pigment to pull out. I would say 3 is usually what people sell them in packages of.
Do you do the nose?
Yeah. So the nose and the chin, like down here, I'll usually leave for last. And the nose is an excessive amount of gel. So you can see all that gel we're using, all basically on the side, because we have this slight gap in the nose. That's not our friend when it comes to laser. And that crease there. So you want to make sure that's totally full with gel, so that way, again, we're going to create a more flat surface. Okay, and then we can get flat, and you can see that gap is covered by our gel. So 1, 2 pulse. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come from this end. And I'm going to use my stick here because she's had quite a bit of pulses there. 1, 2 pulse. And 1, 2. It's okay?
Mm-hmm.
So again, we'll put it on standby. Always put it on standby before you set your handpiece down, just for safety hazards. And we can move the gel over on her here. So we're in ready mode there. And 1, 2. And 1, 2. Okay, and 1 more pulse. And 1, 2. That one wasn't so bad, eh?
No.
We'll just do a few pulses over the chin here. One, 2. 1, 2. Feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll notice I keep asking her. It's because, again, I want to make sure that she is feeling this where we need her to feel it at. 1, 2. Okay, and now at this point is when I'm going to go back and look at the side that I had originally started and make sure that I've got all the endpoints that I need there for her first treatment. So we did get some darkening up in these spots, which is good. We did want to see that. And we have a few sort of speckling throughout. This one definitely went darker here. I will do a second pass on just sort of this boxed area here. I'd like to see all of these in here go slightly darker for her. We don't want anything too much. Again, it is her first treatment. But we do want her to see some good results. So she tells everybody about us. Right, Sandy?
Right.
Okay. 1, 2. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are you feeling that at?
Well, that was probably a 6.
A 6? Yeah.
But I think it's pretty vascular.
So that's it for Sandy's second pass. I'm not going to go in this area because she does have a lot of telangiectasia, so some broken capillaries in there, which is going to make it overly sensitive. It makes it a thinner skin, and I would rather not do 2 passes there because we already got some darkening in here with our first pass. Same on this side. We can see she's quite pink in this area. It's, you know, again, she's got some darkening on a couple of the pigmented lesions in there, which is great. This is your driver's side, Sandy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely she's got more of a reaction on this side because she's got more pigmentation on this side, so that's a good sign. I might just do a couple of these again on the side here, which I wasn't in love with on the first go, just to see them go a little darker. So that's the thing, it's the clinical endpoints that we're looking for a lot of the time. It's not always just, okay, she's feeling it out of 5, I'm good to go, right? We need to constantly ask her, constantly check the skin to make sure it's going to be a sufficient treatment. Okay, after a treatment like this, I would recommend like a soothing mask of some sort. If you want to include that in the price, a lot of people do. Or if you want to have it as an add-on extra, you can as well. It is important though, as you can see after a photo rejuve, especially on somebody that has quite a bit of pigmentation like this, it can tend to feel, oh my gosh, my face is on fire after. So if that's the case for the client, they just want to use a cold compress at home. They can use a bit of aloe vera or a soothing mask is best. And definitely a sunscreen is extremely important for her to be using for at least the next 14 days and always. Okay, I think we're good there.